guys, Truth Waves here. Let's go. Ah, man. Um, to be honest with you guys, I'm not feeling too motivated today, but I just wanted to speak a little bit more about my whole recruiting experience. So, I made a part one video. Um, I talked about various things. Truth be told, this is just my perspective. This isn't the whole Marine Corps. This isn't everyone's perspective and what, you know, they've gone through. However, it's just my personal experiences. So I just want to throw that out there. Um, and for me, when it came to being a recruiter, first off, it's not what I expected. I expected to be more helpful to people, be more in the community type of thing. And what I mean by that is What I mean by that is the fact that, there'd be times where it's like, well, we're not going to go do this event because it's not, reaching towards our target audience. And our target audience was, ages, 17 to 28 years old, you know. Um, and it made me think, like that was the only focus is like, hey, we got to get these people in, you know what I'm saying? And that's not where my mindset was at. My mindset was, you know what, I'm gonna use this opportunity to help guide people, whatever path they choose, um, and then if they want to join the Marine Corps, then I'll be there, right there with them, every step of the way. Motivate them, guide them, do whatever it takes to help them out. And I did with the guys that did want to join. And there was a few people that were like on the fence, but I was still there just to answer every question that they had. And with being in that position, i I was a little bit, some would say, more truthful, as far as recruiting goes. And that's not how it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be, like telling half of the truth. Um, if some of y'all are aware of, what I mean by that. So, like, I guess an example would be like, well, I took a step outside. This is the whole truth. Like, I took a step outside, you know, and then I took a piss, and I was hating my life because it was pouring rain, and I was just doing a miscellaneous task, like getting told what to do, mopping up the rain, and I was over in Camp Lejeune. Now this is just a made up story, but very well, who knows? It could have been possible. Um, but a half truth would have been like, yeah, I was stationed at Camp Lejeune, North Carolina. It's uh, it's very scenic, and if you're not used to, all the rain, or you want to just have a good time and just enjoy yourself, like just make up a story along those lines. Not telling about the fact that I hated my life when I was there or this or that, but I would tell the truth about my experiences. And that was the difference between m- me personally, I think, and a few of the other recruiters. And yeah, maybe it bit me in the butt, but it is what it is. If you really wanted to join the Marine Corps, you would join the Marine Corps. And that was the mindset that I had. And that's the mindset that I carried myself with. And that's why I joined the Marine Corps. I joined the Marine Corps to, you know, do it. Not just kick my feet around and be like, you know what? Like, no, I'm gonna do it, and I did. Um, but things ended up the way they did. Now, when I was a recruiter, telling the truth and you know, being motivating. Because I was motivating. There would have been times where I was told that, sometimes I'm a bit too much. I need to dial it back down again. I'm just relighting the cigar. Um, and that was rough for me. I needed to find, a sweet spot because there would have been some schools that I went to and they thought I was maybe too much or maybe too little. I needed to be more hands on or I needed to be take a step back. And I wasn't used to that. So it was a very hard time for me adjusting to something like that. Because me personally, I was used to this idea in the Marine Corps that you have to be gung ho, like you have to be like pumped up all the time. And it's not that I was pumped up all the time, even though I was, but it's like a whole like identity um, from what I grew up in within the Marine Corps. Uh, I'm not saying I was the baddest, I was the meanest, or anything like that. I was just very, you know, a spirit de corps is what we call it in the Marine Corps. Is having the motivation and the idea behind being a Marine and being with your fellow Marines and just having that energy with you and carrying that forward. And it was different being in the schools and not even just the schools, just out in public. And, you know, I was told that, I was a little bit too much sometimes. And it was hard for me to adjust to that. So that was another thing that, really was difficult for me. But the people that did want to join, they saw that. There was a handful of people that saw that. People that I didn't even recruit, I'm telling you. And, I honestly hope that they have, their best lives ahead of them, best careers ahead of them, good kids that wanted to join. And they did. There's a handful of them became Marines, and, I don't keep in touch with them like that, but, maybe one day they'll see this video or any of my videos. Honestly, I'm just trying to paint a picture of my experiences, and I just wish them luck. I really do. But past that, past the idea of motivation, another big thing for me that I was struggling with was just being able to sleep. Now, in the Marine Corps, I had no problem. Like, I had no problem um, in the way that it's like I was used to my sleep cycle. I'd get anywhere from 4 to 6 hours of sleep. I'd wake up early in the morning. I'd PT with my guys, and then we'd go to work. Obviously, we'd get chow, which is just your breakfast or whatever it may be. Typically, just an energy drink and like a cigar or something, for my case. And then we'd get to work. But when I came out here on recruiting, it was just dead. Like not the motivation, but the sleeping. Like I would get anywhere from 4 to 6 hours of sleep. However, I was living the same day over and over and over again, and I got tired of that because I'd show up, but before I show up, early in the morning, I'd give me an energy drink. I'd give me two energy drinks, if that, and then I'd show up, do my stuff, call people, and it was just the same thing over and over and over again. But I didn't have a really good relationship with the other guys, and that was a struggle for me. I was the youngest in the office, and I wasn't married, and I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. I'm just saying my case, and I just really didn't like it. It was tough for me. Um, I'm not making excuses for how things ended up being. I'm just explaining my case. and that's just how life is. Um, but I really just don't want people in the Marine Corps specifically to go out there and be like, you know what, I'm gonna become a recruiter. There's a lot more to it than meets the eye. You know, I thought it was gonna be motivating. You know, I thought I was gonna be able to inspire people every single day, and that's a lie. You're not gonna be doing that. Yes, you can inspire people, but you're not going to be inspiring and motivating people every single day. No. There's going to be times where you're going to be hating your life. You're going to be like, why did this kid lie to me? Why did this family lie to me? Oh, these parents came in. They're like, oh, this kid's interested. No. Like, the reality of it is you're all alone and you're by yourself. And if you don't have a tight knit, like, group of recruiters, then you're gonna hate your life or you're not gonna do as well. That's the bottom line. I mean, I was doing okay as a recruiter, but I couldn't handle it. So that's just part of it. But that's my whole, takeaway within this video. I just wanted to share my thought process and the things that I went through. For any young individual, in the Marine Corps looking at this, you're a few years in, or maybe you're even, 10 plus years in, you might be gaffing this off or whatever it may be. Just think about it wisely. I just recommend that you don't become a recruiter and you look towards something else. Because honestly, going on recruiting duty is probably one of the one of the toughest things in the Marine Corps, and it's not for everybody. And that's why there's a lot of issues in the first place with recruiters. Um, but there's a whole bunch more to it, and I'm gonna get on top of it in later videos. But as always, I hope y'all stay blessed and stay true. Amen.